Alright, we're back. Sorry about that. Just, the problem with drinking a lot of tea is sometimes it makes you need to use the washroom. So we're gonna just go for the 324 on all the stages. And if it yells at me to see that, when it refreshes, 4 seconds have passed. But I was already starting to attack guys there, so it's good. So we're gonna try to just do it for all the stages, and then if I need to do it for all the characters, I'll do that too. But for now, we're just gonna work on this for speedrunning, because I've done enough of all the other random stuff. This is still very random, but there's at least a hint of control to what you can do. Don't you even think about bouncing on that spring. Boy! I'll be busting a cap in your face. A crack, more specifically. You guys are having a lot of fun talking about Xenoblade 2 in there. I'm glad you're enjoying chatting. I'm not too much into Xenoblade myself, but... well... more just because I've never gotten into it, but... yeah, see how much longer that takes. Don't you even try! Don't you even start with me! Actually, this stage isn't too bad either. You would think the sprints would make things a lot worse, but it doesn't. Really? Doesn't make it too much worse. Stop with your scissor boomerangs. I had enough of your boomerang scissors. So we got about a minute to do this last batch. And then Lockjaw. Okay, we've got 1 minute to do Lockjaw. We just need to dish out more fast damage. Oh, I was too close! Too close! There we go. Even under 3 minutes. Good start, good start. Yep, there we go. That looks good. Next up, Ribbon Ring. We should be able to do this relatively easily, especially with Min Min. I am doing a min-max loadout, so I am going to gain a little bit of time just on that front, but at the same time, it's like... you can't do it with every arm. You cannot beat the dev time with every arm. You can beat the dev... You can do 1v100 with any arm you want and reach the end. But if you want to beat the time, you have to know... You can't just goof around and pick whatever arm you want. Things like Guardian are going to be too slow because you have to rely on grabs then. Or like stupidly close, and it still takes an hour for it to come out. You're going to need to pick some relatively quick arms regardless. Homie would actually be a pretty decent arm to work with too. Homie, most of the explosion arms are risky, but you can make them work pretty well. Slaps could probably be pretty effective too. boot reins. The paras are really nice. Realistically, as long as you have a medium speed arm, that doesn't lock you into things too often, or a whiff that isn't too punished. Well, actually, no. As long as you're not using the defensive arm, but you're using a slightly more aggressive one, you're probably fine. You could probably make it work. Like, all of the gloves are good. Hopper and Cracker. Most of the light arms work pretty well. You could probably make Retorture and Revolver get a dev time if you wanted. Oh, I just realized I don't have to worry about trying to do the dev time in Mausoleum because I already did that. That is relieving. Shout out to Past Me for doing that for myself. That did nothing. Cool. Cool. And sometimes they'll dodge that too, so the grab might just be a very slow thing. Okay, we have very little time to work with. We need to just kill. Got 20 seconds. Okay, we're not gonna make it. This is... Yeah, after that grab too, this is a dead run. We can do that though, that was possible. It's just a little tricky because the stage is very awkward to move around in. I also did get hit a few times, slowing myself down. There's an explosion block. Those things get in the way so much. Okay, so far so good. It's a good start. Cracker is also capable of doing double kills and even triple kills if you can line it up well. So it's a really good arm for this. Alright, we're making good time here. We just need to not get hot slapped. Because it was the hot slap that kind of took away a lot of time. And started taking away a lot of my tempo. Oh gods. Can you stop dodging and just get hit? Thank. Yes, murder your own friends. Your cell army is powerless against your own weakness. Alright, we're doing good here. We got this one. This one, it has a lot less mistakes. They were a lot less aggressive, or they couldn't be as aggressive. So we've got a hot minute here. Oh, those thick blocks can also slow things down here a lot. Okay. Okay, this is gonna be painful. Oh, gods, come on. This is gonna be... Do not do this to me. Please. And the run is dead. And that is why I don't like 1v100. It's very frustrating. And if things... In this stage, also, like, there were some very good examples in that run alone that was going so well, and then immediately things just kind of turned against me because I had no space to dodge. And he started off so far away, so I couldn't really get around things as effectively, and I just kind of got overwhelmed. That explosion did nothing. Just fall. We just need more hits, more damage. We got a good time going again. This one should be possible. There's a bomb behind me. Now it's not. At least the bomb got rid of them. I'm gonna lose 4 seconds to a waste taking damage. You and your hot slaps need to go. I don't need no lockjaws. Don't you try to punch me down. Just die. Really? We're gonna lose the run to these two? Because they won't get hit. Die. One more. Come at me. Good. There we go. We can move on with this one. River Marine sucks for 1v100. But it is possible to beat the dev time. You just have to get really lucky and also utilize very effective arms for this. Hunt you all down. We just need you dead. Faster you dead, the better. See, even you can try to take advantage of that thing and do some nice work with it, But there's a catch. And the catch is trying to take advantage of that requires you to set yourself up so you can quickly change targets. And that means you have to do, like, well, technically, I've never bothered doing controller stuff. I probably should for this. Like, I could easily change the controls a little bit. X and Y to change targets. Don't you try blast my face. I ain't in the mood for it. I don't want no revolver. But can you beat Ibuki time? I'm pretty sure dev time is Ibuki time, so yes. Because out of all the developers, he's the one we know is really good. So, to my knowledge, he's probably the one who's got most of the good records. Oh, they don't say it's his. Nobody's ever confirmed that. But it's pretty safe to just say it's Ibuki. Because there's no secret Ibuki time. So we can pair the two up and say, if there's no secret Ibuki time, and there's only a dev time, chances are the dev time is Ibuki time. These stairs, man, I swear. Okay, we've got 30 seconds to do this. It's possible. It's very possible. Oh god, and there it goes. Yeah, it's gone. As sure as they want the devs, they change the game however they want. Rip all you though. Yes. Yes to all. That could have been good, but then I just had that rush whiff because reasons. That was a terrible start. I mean, it is terrible, but we're also talking about Ninja College here. Are you? I'm not running with that. Yeah, here, let's start losing time in the first 25. Look how 4 seconds to just walk up to them. And now the run starts. So in Ninja College, you start off with a 4-second deficit. Like, cool. You better be feeling extra saucy. Also, the bomb is going to be placed in a very terrible place because there is no room for it to be beyond just a terrible spot. Yeah, where the just to kind of explain it a little bit more, the popper would be a lot slower because A, it's a slower arm, B, your camera stays locked onto that target a few more moments because you gotta watch them get blown away. Okay, so we're about 12 seconds behind. a really good time. Which is good, but it's still, considering what we're having to put up with, could be nicer. Could be much nicer. I should probably mute my phone. Oh, cool, you're all the way over there, eh? Okay, that's a good line. That's a good conga line. Heavies. Heavies! Okay, we've got about 90 seconds to do all this. I think that's possible. Yeah, 1 minute to do this part. I'm down. Landed the rush. That's good. Now, this is where it's just gonna get annoying because it's just... Okay, here we go. Just a couple more hits. And we got rush too, so... Do that! There we go. What if dev times is impossible on all stages, like they did on one stage and they don't really know? I wouldn't be surprised, but I'm also going to say it might not be possible in all situations, but I'm very confident it's possible. If you're maximizing your potential and you know exactly what you need to do, I think Ribbon Ring and Ninja College are proof enough with those times that it is possible for me to do it on Ramen Bowl, on Scrapyard, Cinema Dough, Buster Beach. Snake Park has already been proven numerous times. DNA Lab, Temple Grounds. We already were really close in Temple Grounds, and we're already fairly close in Name Redacted. This one's really bad because it was Helix. This one, a lot of it was the fact that it's Cinema Dough, but also with good movement and solid planning, it's very possible. And then the Scrapyard is a really bad time. I'm pretty sure just because that was probably like one of my earlier attempts, and it was probably with Mechanica. Mechanica's alright for this, but her large body can make it annoying. Actually, no, I take that back. Mechanica can do really well in this. You just have to know how to approach with her as a character in this mode. And if there is a badge for doing this, you can bet your butt I'm probably going to be the only person who owns that badge. Like, Phallus might be able to... Phallus would probably... Me and Phallus are probably going to be the only two people in the entire ARMS scene. And I don't think Phallus plays ARMS anymore. Like, I haven't heard from him in a while. So... I will be the sole owner. Actually, well, no. I don't think there would be a badge because V doesn't have it yet. And V made a serious effort to get all the badges. I would be like, this is probably going to be the rarest badge to get in ARMS. If you're looking for the rarest badge, and this is a badge, this is the badge to go for. Because you get this, and then you will feel so fancy. Because you'll wear this badge, people will see it, and they'll be like, oh hey, that badge looks different. They won't, most of them probably won't make note of it But if any asks, you're like, this is the rarest badge in the game. I got this by beating the dev time on every stage of 1v100. Is that a challenge? I invite you to do it. I'm bragging about it because bragging also encourages others to take up the challenge. Like, I can boast that I am the best Mechanica and be like, haha, come at me, scrubs. I'm the best Mechanica. And then people might be more inspired. Like, to explain something in a way that I could make it sound like I'm not being selfish, because for whatever reason, that seems to be the thing that I enjoy driving me the most. Boasting about something can encourage others to do it. Talking about how you're the best at it can make it sound a lot more... Some of them are going to applaud you, first off. They'll be like, wow, cool, good, GG, nice pants. And then others will be like, oh, hey, you're saying I can't do that, or that you're the best, and that blah, 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 blah. They might take up arms to try to prove you wrong. Oh, could you put that away? Sir? Sir? Put that away. Sir? Excuse me, sir? Don't do that. Stop it, sir. Sir? Sir, could you not? Can you don't? Oh, I'm so dead. This isn't even going to be a good run because I'm not going to be able to kill him fast enough. Dev time is all characters, not all stages? You would think that, and the badge was given for that. But let me show you a counter-argument to that. Do you remember what I was showing you about how Dr. Coyle could only go on name redacted, but nobody else could? The shiny dev score badge is earned for doing something entirely unrelated. I don't care, I'm doing it anyways. But it said do 1v100 with all characters because they locked all the stages. But you'll notice, I've been doing Min on all of these times, and the time still stands. So that means that at this point, they're not interested in keeping track of character, because there's no way to keep track of character. I've got all the checks. There's that I can keep track of to unlock them, but there's nothing showing, like, I've done 1v100 beat the dev score with Min several times, and there is no indication that she is the special one amongst them all. For all anybody could know, I could have done it with Helix. Like, without video proof, you see a time on the stage and a check mark on a character. So this time on Mausoleum, I could have done it with Twin Tail. Could have done it with Bite and Bark. I could have done it with Masango. How do you prove me wrong? I could talk all my life about how I did it with Kid Cobra. I could talk about how I got all these times with Kid Cobra. And as soon as this video goes down, and if there are no clips of this, or those clips get deleted, we officially have no way to prove me wrong. We have no way to prove me right, unless I did another attempt and showed people that I could do that with Kid Cobra. But I could technically talk that talk. And if I'm a player with enough notoriety, like, if I'm a Leaf, and people are like, this is a big deal player who does big deal things, and I say, I did that, who's gonna argue with me? But that's also why I'm not going to do that, because first off, that's entirely against who I am as a person. Also, like, what am I getting out of that? Like, clout? Cool. You know what's better than just clout for saying I did it with Kid Cobra? Saying I did it with the character I did it with, being able to show that I did, and then maybe helping people understand how they can do well in this, rather than giving them, like, false info. Like, rather than make people think, oh, Kid Cobra is the character to go with. Being like, no, Phallus did it all with Min Min. I did it all with Min Min. Min Min is the character to go with. And then having people be like, oh, Min Min's the character to go with. And then they try her, and they're like, oh yeah, no, this makes sense. And then they get better with her, and then they get good times with 1v100 because they're working with Min Min. It's a lot more proper of a thing than if I just told everybody that I'm good with Helix. Because, like, doing that genuinely helps nobody. Except maybe make a couple big fans of Kid Cobra, like, feel a little proud because their character was the one that did well. Like, I mean, cool. You're proud. But pride is a silly thing. Ouchies. And pride is very valuable, but it's also very overrated. Can you don't? Can you don't, I say? Dude, I say, don't, can you? How? Bull physics. Bull physics. Okay, I don't have much health, but this should still be possible. Especially since it's just all dragons on this headlock. Easy, peasy, lemon squeezy. There we go, that's another stage. Next up, Scrapyard. And in about 15 minutes or so, I'm gonna move over to Ranked. And then if people just want to talk about stuff, I'm open for discussion. Okay, Revolver is a pretty solid counter to Cracker. But you know what's a good Cracker or Revolver counter? Parabola. Yeah, we got a good rhythm here. There was very much a rusty run. I think it was just to get things rolling for me. When I did this run as probably Mechanica. So we'll give ourselves a nice pretty time here. Oh. You and your whammers will not save you. How dare it save you, you fiend! Give me back my homies. Those are my homies. I worked hard for them. All 20 of them. I think there might be more than 20. Underrated arms? Parabola's the Paras are probably a pretty underrated arm. They're commonly seen as cheese arms right now by a lot of players and aren't utilized well. Whammer, underrated. Very dangerous, very effective. The homies and Seekies, definitely underrated. Like, they're seen as cheese arm, that's about it right now. They are very powerful, very dangerous. They're kind of like a slightly worse buff, or a slightly slower buff, but with better homing and a much scarier rush. Also, that explosion is nice. Whammer on Lollipop works well, yeah. If you want to know the most underrated arms, it's pretty much the entire heavy. It's been... Just look at all the heavy arms. I can be on like maybe megawatts, which even then is still, I'd say, pretty underrated. They're all very underrated arms. Like, they're really good. They're really dangerous, and people don't use them very well, or very often. And then you'll see one or two guys who kind of don't really do much with them, but they're extremely scary because they have at least enough competence to know how to use it, that people who are playing against them are just overwhelmed. Just one more hit in 10 seconds. There we go. Scrapyard, done. There's a reason they put Megaton on Mummy by default. The girth, exactly. Like, just to kind of show the potential of how the heavy can be used. Master Mummy's a really good character for demonstrating heavies effectively. Helix is also another really good character for that. Okay, this stage will probably be a little more difficult. Why would you target that one when there's one right beside me? He's been there the whole 5 minutes that I've been doing this, and yet you didn't target him until the most awkward of moments. This stage will be nice in the fact that I can ignore the bombs entirely, because they're going to be really easy to avoid. I do have to waste a lot of time closing gaps, though. Especially if they do their targeting poorly. But I'm only about 10 seconds behind. Oh, 10 seconds behind. And we're gonna lose a little bit more time here, but that's okay. Yeah, we lost another 10 seconds on that one. That was a very slow one. Getting knocked down slowed down significantly. Oh, Parasols takes so much time to get hit by. Oh, cool. We're gonna lose a lot more time here because they're being dodgy. And I'm gonna get double hit by a Parasol off by the side. Yeah, look at all the time I lost there. Oh, hey, look. Combos. I wouldn't call the Revolver or Torture underrated. I'd call them situational, though. Like, they can be effective in certain circumstances. This is the dead run. But generally, they are pretty bad arms. So you're probably... So the reasoning that I have for switching over to the Tri-Bolt here is that I was noticing the Cracker was getting stopped a lot by the cars. And Tri-Bolt is gonna struggle with that less because of the fact that it isn't as tall. It's just a much more flatter plane. It's gonna contest things a lot less, but I'm not looking to contest because I've got the Parabola to protect me. I'm just looking to kill. Are we gonna start here? We're gonna start here. There we go. Okay, this is good. Actually, no, this is pretty bad. We're like 15 seconds behind. That said, I'm also comparing to like perfection, and we've got about a minute of space to work with beyond perfection. I pressed the attack. Are you... Get away from there. Okay, we should be alright still. If we can just get a couple of good combos. Oh, they're starting to spread out too. Go! He closed in the gap. A minute to do that, both of these, and lockjaw possible. After that, though, probably not. "20 seconds? Yeah, after that, it's run. Let's see how... Okay, I'm just gonna get plowed because it's gloves. Yep. 10 seconds behind. "20 seconds. About 20 seconds behind. I think Tribal is underrated. It's not that the Tribal is underrated, Shift. It's that the Tri-Blast is so good. Like, what would be a good example? It's like Fox and Falco. You're comparing Fox and Falco. Falco is in Melee. Falco is still a really good character in Melee. He can get results. He can do the stuff. But why play Falco when you can just play Fox and win? That's why it might come off as underrated to you, because of that fact, where it's just like, you don't see it, and you're like, why don't I see it? It's a really good arm. People just don't like it. And it's not that people don't like it, it's that Tribal is stupid. It's like really stupid in a competitive sense. Tri-Blast and Roaster are, like, in terms of a win rate and getting results, they are dramatically higher than a lot of other arms. Like, just putting those two on, immediately putting either of those on, even just one, is going to give you a much higher win rate than to not have it. So if you're picking one of the tries, why are you picking the lesser of them? Like, one that's definitively has less purpose. Like, it gives you stun combos, but Explosion can give you stun combos. Like, have you seen the confirms that Triblast can do? It technically does more damage off of those two because of the rush. It recovers more quickly. It's easier to just throw out. Uncharged, it's the exact same, so that's not the concern. Tribolt is quite literally a lesser Triblast in the entirety of its existence. Hydra versus Biffler is a different case where both have different enough properties that you can arguably make a case for one versus the other. Hydra, for example, might come off as just being the dominant one, as it's always 3 arms, and it can get some nice 120 damage or 110, and it has the fire element, where Biffler does not. But Biffler is extremely good for chip damage, as the shots are all piled up together. So if you find a character, or if you land one, you pretty much are guaranteed to land the others, which means that uncharged, it's consistently 120, where the Hydra is possibly only 80. The other thing being, too, Biffler is much faster than the Hydra. The Triblast is, I think, a little bit faster than the Tribolts. So, yeah, and it has an extended hitbox. Oof. We gotcha. We gotcha! There we go. Probably one of the hardest ones to beat the dev time on. Done. Got it.